Harlem has long been the spiritual capital of Black America. In its heyday during the Harlem Renaissance, it was a wellspring of politics, music, and art. But over the years, the neighborhood suffered a steady decline and came to symbolize the worst of urban poverty and decay. Today, there's a new renaissance underway in Harlem with the construction of new buildings, businesses, and schools. One of the people leading the charge is Jeffrey Canada. His vision, quite simply, is to save children, and he has amassed a staggering amount of private money, more than $100 million, to realize his goal. His testing ground is a 60-block area in central Harlem that he calls the Harlem Children's Zone. This is a bird's-eye view of the Harlem Children's Zone, an area that covers less than 1 square mile and is home to some 10,000 children. On the ground, the neighborhood is slowly coming back to life with newly renovated townhouses standing side by side with buildings that have fallen victim to violence and despair. Local businesses next to national chains. But despite all the renewal, nearly all the children live in poverty, and 2/3 of them score below grade level on standardized tests. That's why Jeffrey Canada, a graduate of Bowdoin College and the Harvard School of Education, has claimed this territory as his own and is trying to save it block by block, child by child.
Good evening.
And he's made a bold promise to the parents who live in the zone.
If your child comes to this school, we will guarantee that we will get your child into college. We will be with you, with your child, from the moment they enter our school till the moment they graduate from college.
Canada's ambitious experiment aims to prove that poor kids from the inner city can learn just as well as affluent kids from the other side of America. He's flooded the zone with social, medical, and educational services available for free to all the children who live here.
They get what middle class and upper middle class children get. They get safety, they get structure, they get academic enrichment, they get cultural activity, they get adults who love them and are prepared to do anything, and I mean, I'm prepared to do anything to keep these kids on the right track.
He's raised a lot of money to try to do that.
Third phase, which we plan to start.
The budget of the Harlem Children's Zone is $36 million a year and growing. Only 1/3 of it comes from the government, the rest from private donations. That money made it possible for Canada to open his own charter school in this new $42 million building. It's called the Promise Academy.
This is the earth.
Classes have a ratio of 1 adult for every 6 kids, as well as state-of-the-art science labs, a first-class gym, and a cafeteria that looks more like a restaurant. Only healthy food is served here to help fight obesity. But living in the zone doesn't guarantee a slot in the Promise Academy, which opened its doors a 1.5 years ago to only 200 kindergartners and 6th graders. It is adding new grades every year and will soon educate some 2,300 kids through high school.
Elijah Wynn, kindergarten.
Because of the enormous demand, admission is by lottery.
Armani Moore, kindergarten.
Parents watch as the wheel spins for the highest stakes imaginable.
Hezekiah Holder.
The future of their children.
DeAndre Castillo, kindergarten.
This mother learned that her son's number did not come up.
We spent a lot of money trying to make sure these kids had a good start because we wanted them to go on to our school. Start. And so I'm as disappointed as you all are that the child didn't get in. After my first lottery, I said, we're gonna have to open more schools. You sit there and watch those parents. It's the saddest thing I've seen. It really is.
Where does this come from with you?
I mean, I grew up in a very similar condition to a lot of our children. I mean, we are a single mom. She had 4 kids, overwhelmed, doing the best she could do. Living in, tenements with roaches and mice and rats. And that's something that's driven me, I think, all of my life.
It is Jeffrey Canada's passion and commitment that inspired Stanley Druckenmiller to donate tens of millions of dollars to the Harlem Children's Zone.
I invest in companies and other things for a living, and I can tell a good management and a good leader when I see one.
He made his personal fortune, estimated at more than $1 billion, as one of the most successful hedge fund managers on Wall Street.
And when he first came up with this idea of the Harlem Children's Zone, did you have any reservations about it?
Oh yeah, I called money. And so I was sort of terrified by the financial challenge.
As chairman of the board of the Children's Zone, Druckenmiller has enlisted the financial support of other philanthropists and also helped develop a business plan that demands accountability and results.
So if they don't produce, you're saying that you'll pull your support from them?
That's a little harsh, but yeah, let me put it a different way. The intensity and level of the support will be directly related to outcomes that are produced.
You're doing a great job there, my friend.
To get the outcomes he wants, Jeffrey Canada takes money from his budget and puts it directly into the pockets of his students.
Never late.
He hands out cash every month to the children with perfect attendance at the Promise Academy.
Good job, Chuck. Keep it up, okay?
And bribing doesn't bother you?
Ed, not one bit. Why? If I know that those kids are going to fill our penitentiaries, and we're going to be spending in New York City $45,000 and $50,000 a year on that child for 20 years. I mean, $20 doesn't bother me one bit. Keep it up, man. I hope you get all my money.
To reach as many children in the zone as possible, Canada put reading labs in public elementary schools, provides SAT tutoring to high schoolers.
Make this one sentence.
He teaches karate to instill discipline and offers medical help for the disproportionate number of children here who suffer from asthma. But in order to save the children, Jeffrey Canada says he has to save their parents first.
Can I get you a flyer on the baby college?
And that begins at the Baby College, a 9-week workshop that literally teaches new parents how to raise their kids so that they will enter school ready to learn.
Middle-class families know education begins at birth. Poor parents don't know that, so we're just trying to tell the parents, look, you have to start giving them the kinds of stimulation that's going to help those brains develop.
Parents also learn good habits, like how to impose discipline without physical force.
There are other positive ways that you can discipline your child to stop the negative behavior.
That may sound obvious, but it wasn't to Darlene Anozier, who was orphaned at the age of 7 and grew up in state facilities. Before attending the baby college, she says she didn't know how to discipline her son without hitting him.
How do you keep him in control, if you don't hit him? And they said, no, it's not good to hit. And I said, well, what other things can I do?
With her husband on disability, providing for her family is often difficult. So the Harlem Children's Zone has helped Darlene buy provisions when she's run out of money.
I think I got it.
And also referred her to an adult education class to pursue her GED so she can try to keep up with her 7-year-old son, Richard.
I want him to know that education is the most important thing.
He started school at this pre-kindergarten run by the Harlem Children's Zone, which opened a $250 college fund for Richard and offers one to all pre-kindergartners, adding to those funds every year.
You want to go to college?
Much as it kills me, yes.
Much as it kills you. Why would it kill you going to college?
Because they got words that I don't know.
But you'll learn new words every year, so that by the time you get to college, you'll know all those words.
Yeah, but they're not going to teach me those words because they would think that I'm so smart, I know those words.
Trust me, you'll be okay.
Okay.
You still worry about his future?
Right now? No.
Exclamation.
That's because Richard, now in 1st grade, has exceeded her expectations at the Promise Academy, where the school day is longer, summer vacation lasts only 3 weeks, and many kids go to school on Saturdays. Canada is able to run the school his way, free from the restrictions of the public education system that he says has been failing Harlem's children for so long.
We could not run a school under the current rules and regulations with the unions. It's impossible. It's just impossible. You can't fire teachers. Look, we fired 3 teachers last year. And I will guarantee you we fired more teachers than the whole island of Manhattan and all the public schools. Now that's crazy. You come in, you teach, the kids all fail, you get to go home at 3 and you get summers off. Now what kind of job is that?
It costs $16,000 a year to educate a student at the Promise Academy. While $10,000 of those dollars come from the city, the rest is from the school's coffers. Though the price tag may seem high, Canada says the investment is paying off.
Our 4-year-olds are performing higher than the kids in general. Our kindergartners are all on grade level. They're doing terrific, way above what you would consider to be the national norms right now and how these kids are testing. So we're feeling really, really good about that.
But Canada acknowledges he's fighting an uphill battle to help the older kids in the zone who are not enrolled at the Promise Academy. So he runs this after-school program for them. In a city where half the teenagers don't finish high school on time, the graduation rate for students who come here is roughly 95%. Still, when we sat in on the center's weekly rap session, we saw firsthand the challenges that Jeffrey Canada and his counselors are facing.
High school right now, tell you the truth, I'm saying hell with it.
Sean Seal is a high school sophomore and struggling. I asked him how he sees his future.
So when you're 21, where do you think you'll be? That's 5 years.
I don't know if I'm be here when I'm 21.
Where else would you be?
Locked up with dead, man. I don't know.
You could be dead.
Yeah.
And that's okay with you?
Yeah.
Sean Seal is still in high school and still coming to this after-school center. He and all the other teens here are eligible for up to $150 a month if they complete their work. As for Jeffrey Canada, he has been meeting with groups from across the country who are interested in creating children's zones in their cities.
You ever hear those people who say, you know, this is crazy, you can't do it, and think that maybe you bit off too much?
As long as I am here, we're going to push this envelope as hard and as far as possible. And I think that in the end, it's going to be important that we demonstrate that we can get even the toughest kids to make it in America.